this is the improvements I've made recently on the bathroom module. Boop, 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 boop. So I was measuring, the level to see how far back the seat is tipped, and I'm measuring the height, like the height or the distance, like from the floor to the seat before I change it. I need to change things in the bathroom to improve it, to open up some space. This bathroom module should have a tie from here to that back wall. Box it in. It doesn't. It needs to be tied in like that to keep it flat. So I've only got like an inch of space past this. I think I need to move that down to get somewhere I can tie from here to back here. The door is very bent. I think straightening this out would help. There's no hope of getting it straight if this isn't straight. Also, the door is bending these because it's sitting flat over here and it's sitting on the thickness of this hinge back here. So this hinge arm is getting bent. Which you can see when it's closed. You can see how it's bent away. Anyways, if this sticks out, you need to have something else that sticks out if they're going to land on that, because you bend it. You bend the door and you bend the hinges standing on this. And all that bended makes it not sit flat. Additionally, we've got a top and a bottom piece. I think I should try and strengthen this together and to try and pull this in and get this to latch instead of sticking a clamp on there. I've got to build up somewhere for this latch to mount, so it can grab somewhere this latch. And a soap dish and a sink and a better way of draining into drainable buckets. And a better way of draining into drainable containers. And a place to hang your towel. I will wait for that. So, I'm finally I am gluing. I'm using epoxy to connect some Velcro. Actually, it's not Velcro brand hook and loop. I'm gluing that to that tub. That's like from food service. From it's called a steam pan. You will see see more in this video, whatever. I'm cutting the wood foot shorter. That's what those measurements were from the beginning of this video. I'm shortening it, so I'm moving the seat downwards. Now I need to cut this.
I need a better saw for doing long cuts like this. I think a bandsaw is the best bet. My bandsaw is no good for thick stuff. I don't know why. I don't know what it takes to make a bandsaw good. Probably a good bandsaw. So, since I don't have room to get a good bandsaw anytime soon, I'm going to make a groove with my router table. I think that edge is flat enough. Really, I also need a sled. I need a bandsaw with a sled, so I don't have to follow a line by eye. Ooh, and so I could get to automatically feed.
Bandsaw.
And so that this edge doesn't have to be good. You need to be able to flatten an edge. I think bandsaw is the thing, so you can get thick. Like, look at that. Anywho.
Thick. Yes. I'm making a groove in the wood to try and give the BS bandsaw a path to follow. Because the blade was just like twisting. I push just
I really would like to figure out what is up with that bandsaw, or bandsawing if it's my fault. I couldn't cut that thing off in one piece even. It was just turning out, like turning that way. Even with the groove that was that deep, try and help it.
I can't cut one piece. I can't cut one piece. This is, hopefully it's obvious, prototype. So everything is like made from wood, because that's easier to work with. And the big spacer. That's for design ideas. Okay. Speaking of design ideas, I think we're gonna see video of me getting a few design ideas soon. Wait, did we already see the part where I was using my router table? That's my chop saw. It's in the other shipping container. Okay, making something to connect the latch to, so I can shut the door and it latches. Like, I don't think that sign language made sense at all. But this fix made a lot of sense to me. It really improved my life. Quality of life improvement. Click. you close the door and it clicks. You can hear a click. No need to get a clamp and move it. Actually seems professional. These are just measurements of the 1/1. It's called a full size pan, and a few measurements of the bathroom module. Yes. Okay, so now I have the hook and loop. Okay, I'm going to glue it onto the door. But I'm like, yeah, getting design ideas. Yeah, maybe like if I have like a one-piece tub, I could like sit in it. If I wanted to.
Okay, there are two sizes of this serving pan that I could use as a sink right here. I could either use the 1/2, which is 20 inches by 6 3/8, which would fill this entire cavity. It'd be difficult to get it in there. Like it's wider than the opening. Just like this. Okay, I have two options for sinks if I'm using these serving pans. There's one that is 12 inches wide. It's about like that. 12 inches by almost 7 by 6 inches deep. That would fit like this, essentially. And it would leave me all this area. So my sink would be this size, and it'd be plenty deep. I think that's plenty deep to wash your hands in. Or I could get the same depth, same width, longer. But it wouldn't fit in this way, it would hit. So I would have to like bring it up from the bottom. Maybe I could get it to rotate. I'm not sure about that. Rotate down into place. Maybe I cut little openings so that it can slide in. Just the perfect spot. I don't know, that one would be pretty difficult to get in here. It would be a problem. But it might be worth it. Having like a full width sink. Or it might be worth it to make a small sink to learn to do more with less and see if I use this area for something else. I don't know.
So, making a few cardboard.
So I think I would prefer to have the full width sink. And I could have like a wet section. I could have a shelf, whatever, like set soap right here or set whatever. Maybe I only use part of it, and part of it is like maybe you wash something in the sink and then you have like a drying rack. That's what a soap dish essentially is, a drain. Speaking of a drain, this is too big of a pan to go in and out. So before you do something like this, it has to drain. The sink has to stay in place. The easy thing about this is, and the easier thing about a smaller sink is you can just pull it out, dump it, put it back in place. But if I go full width in this size of bathroom module, that thing is not coming out of there. It's not. It would be too difficult to remove it, dump it, put it back in. Just trying to remove it when there's water in it. So that's got to be a future thing, I think. So unless So unless putting a drain into one of these pans is simple, I think I might have to go with the smaller 12-inch wide pan. Kind of drops in something like this. Got that much room to wash my hands. I don't know if it's pushed up against the wall, if it's not, whatever. 12-inch, this size pan is easily removable. Doesn't even need a drain. You can set it in here, use it. When you won't need to empty it, you just pull the whole pan out and dump it.
Cool, I already explained that part. So fast. I am cutting some a type of fabric, Fabric, fabric. That's called fiber reinforced vinyl. And I made a little belt to connect when the seat goes up, and this folds down, and then you connect it to the back wall. This is, what is this? Oh, these are like before pictures. Before I cut more wood off of it to make space for new ideas. I want a scanner, a 3D scanner, or at least like good photos, of the prototypes, the test builds, the prototypes. And you can go and then just picture, and then pass that to your CAD, very easily. It should be easy, very simple all day long. And pass back and forth. Anyways, here I'm. I cut off 2 inches. Moved everything down 2 inches. So I'm cutting off from the bottom and that.
Okay, so with those reliefs cut, you can see the top of that easily. But when it's folded up, you can't. So I don't know. I think the tubing's got to run down the wall. Maybe it's got to fit in this dimension, or maybe it just is out here and then goes back. Maybe it runs down here and then starts to curve back.
Maybe it goes like this, and then
okay, so I think the tubing, what it needs to do, maybe this is where I get access to it.
Good
need access
CL
to change them or something. But the tubing has got to fit between here, because when this goes up and down, it can't clash with it. So tubing's got to fit in this little dimension.
Tube, chair, bam. No.
Inch plus the other inch behind there. You don't need 2-inch tubing. I made the other side chopped out just to be symmetric. I don't know if I need to cut that off. I don't know.
I'm making a little brace for the bottles. So there's like 5 bottles down there. Holds them in
It's
place.
strange when I see this. This does seem a lot bigger than that. The measurement ain't much difference, but I think I'm gonna have to pass on that. It's really cool that they got all the sizes to check from. So apparently the perforated only comes in the full size and the half size. I can't get perforated in this 2/3 size. That's why I'm gonna go with a half size sink. So this is the kitchen sink. The sink and the colander draining rack. This is bigger. It'd be nice to have this, but they don't make a perforated size.
Cooking area.
I mean, this one seems substantially
I prefer
bigger when you've got your hands by it. But they don't make a perforated tray for it, so I would have to buy a non-perf and drill it myself. That's work. That's a project. This is a solution. I just have to learn to get smaller. So this is the size of that. Nice long pan, half long. Could fit, just barely. I mean, I guess it's called a half long because it fits in the full thing. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a legit thing. I don't know. I haven't seen this before. Are there bowls that fit down into this? And should you just make a countertop straight out of this? This is what fits in them. These things. Doop, doop, doop. Behold, the full-size pan with a drain put into it. So they punched that and welded this on. And it sits on there and it's supported back there. Just a reminder, this is sheet metal, so you can put riv nuts? No, threaded inserts, whatever you call them, and a threaded rod, and you could even put a thick freaking hose on it to make whatever the hell this is.
Like it's
a glove.
Sheet metal.
Punching mitt.
Okay, so new measurements. First I'm checking the angle. And now the measurements. It's only 15 and something. And the top has 20 inches from whatever. I think that's different from last time. Okay, so I am transferring the locations of the hook and loop, material, to the other pan, because I have space for 2 pans. why is the stove on my workbench? I heated up some water and put the epoxy in it um, to make it. The epoxy was not moving very fast, so that let it flow better. Mix your epoxy, part A and part B. Mix, 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 and then spread it on the Velcro, not registered. Not a registered trademark. So I spread it over the. Oh, I also sanded the bottom of the pan. Two places I
So I
forgot.
am looking at how to fit the sink in. I think I want to put it at this level. If I push it back a little bit, it won't clash with that hook, where that hook currently is. But this thing is clashing. That needs to come out, but that's a rather structural support. It's just bolted in. I could take it out easily, but it's going to be floppy while it's out, and I have to build something structural to replace it. So
Okay, I got some uh, plastic sheet, uh, and I'm making a prototype counter for the sink pan. This plastic, I've seen it in videos before, and it was cool to use it. You can cut it easily, and I don't know. I think I might like to get some more of it and make prototypes faster. It's good, like for especially for like sheet goods, sheet materials. Uh, anyway, I'm like tracing the sink outline, and then I'll like cut it and try and. Oh, I'm making a template template for the radius. Okay, fits nicely. Yeah, nice to meet you. Right. Nice, clean.
I think I will like that once I have that finished. I don't know if I want to make that out of plywood or out of plastic. Maybe I'll just make it out of plywood since the whole thing's made out of plywood. And if it's plywood, that'll probably show problems better? I don't know. Spilled water. So all these inside corners are 90 degrees. They should have a big old fillet, especially in a bathroom where you're trying to keep it clean. I wonder if I should have pieces that match this, so there's no corner back here. I don't know. Anyways, I think that's the move to make. Hopefully it is, because that's the way I'm going. So I think you could have a pedal, a switch, a button, a momentary switch, whatever you want to call it down there. Maybe a potentiometer. That could run a solenoid that says open, close, or throttle with a potentiometer to run the sink. Foot controls to turn the water on and off.
Okay, more gluing or epoxying the Velcro to the sink, shower pan, to that. And clean up, everybody helps. A clean work area. Clean area. It's a good area to work in. Oh, this belongs in a different video. Okay, I am removing a little bit of wood to make space for the sink. Using that router table. For the longest time, I was like debating with
I'm
myself.
liking how this is turning out. I think it looks pretty cool. It functions pretty coolly. Oh yeah, they're taking off. One thing that's a problem is it's not stiff enough yet. So when you close that, the way it's currently prototype phase, boy, this is hard to show. Hello? Where are we? There we are. You try and shut this, and the whole thing comes out of the way. You gotta like squeeze it. Really hard to show, but you try and shut it, and it's just curving like that. Many of the supports are taken out. This support is taken out, moved down there. I'm gonna try and add a couple more supports right here. So what I'm looking at is up this back wall and then up that wall. So what is that angle? I think it's about 5 degrees.
Okay, let's design something in SolidWorks. That was a construction line. There you can see the dimensions. Just draw what you need, and then extrude it. EXTRUDE. Some thickness. Now I'm placing holes, and I'm using the hole wizard because it puts countersinks in it, Um, so I designed the thickness for this part because I knew what size screws I had, and I didn't want the screws to pop through the wood. So I made it thick enough to compensate for the screws.
Alright, fresh off the 3D printer. Let's see if it... Oh, shoot, it does. Awesome, that worked. Oh, you can't see what I'm seeing, can you? Sorry. So, see the countersinks for the screws? I remembered that nothing is supposed to go outside of this envelope. So really this should be on the inside. So I put countersinks on the other side too. Because it should be the same angle,
Countersink.
the same size, the same everything. I need 2 hands. So you see the countersinks on this side so that you could attach it over here with the screws flat into it. There are also countersinks on the other side because I actually want to put it on the inside if it fits. I mean, if it fits this, then it'll fit that. The countersinks, the screws, have 3/4 inch screws. The plywood is 0.4 something. That's why we made it the size we did, so the screw wouldn't stick through when it's flat.
This is a centering drill bit. Oh, I think I'm gonna say it.
That tool finds the center of the countersink and centers the pilot hole drill in it. Okay, now it's got some strength. Now 2 parts of the back wall are connected. Hooray for Zion. This upper door should also hinge down. It should not be one piece that comes out. You should have a thing that plops down that has wettable surface. Build it out of this stuff. It folds down, like it plops out, and it prevents you from dropping water on the floor. You stand here like this, it comes out to here, it extends to the sink, and that means you don't have to lean into the cupboard like if you want to spit into the sink or whatever. But it means this doesn't have to be such a straight shot. And it could also end up having your spray nozzle. It could be on a little hose that's attached to this. You sprays down. You push one of the buttons that blasts the fan of liquid that way. Whatever. Anyways, fold it down. This is so enjoyable after having a freaking clamp on there for so many years. Oh, what you do in the meantime, since your sink doesn't come out to you, is take your sink out to you, put your toothbrush away. Direct hit. And then you don't say cheese, you say ah. That's pretty splashy, right? So now I want to have a drain, a little funnel, where I can just dump this into the gray water tank. And maybe that's the gray water from the sink, and that's the yellow water from the other funnel. For now, you just use 2 hands. And the dental floss went into there. Oh, gotta fix this. I think I should do it. So I wonder if I should have a little trash can. I should definitely have a soap dish that doesn't flop around. Soap dish on the wall. water dispenser, that's gonna be a well.
So,
But a trash can? Should I have trash right here in this little alcove? This little area? You know, to be determined on whatever it was I just said about. Jeez. uh, Maybe this. I think the sink still should flop out, but I need to do a night where I bring that down, the shower pans down, the stool down, at least so I can wash my feet, because I don't want to be done with it and ready to go to bed and realize I didn't wash my feet. Oh. Maybe the bottom should open like that, and the top should open like that, and the entire thing should have a curtain around it. Maybe the entire thing slides out and it's curtains along the wall that just accordion when you slide it in, and then tubs or sinks or whatever that needs to tilt out, you could do that separately.